If you enjoy farm podcasts, then tune into Carrot Cash Flow for all things farm business. Join us as we explore the latest trends, tips, and stories from market farmers running businesses just like yours. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just starting out, our podcast has something for everyone. Listen in and grow with us. Available on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss out. Subscribe to Carrot Cash Flow today. What's one thing you're spending money on right now that you think most farmers either overlook or resist spending on?
Thing that is definitely specific to the business model, but we spend a lot of money on apps. Like I have several apps and I would love to be able to have all these things in one, but it's just not possible. But you've got your email marketing app, your texting map app. I spend an absurd amount of money on texting, and I only text season passers. So it's a very personal communication from me directly to my most important customers. It's so expensive, but it's so effective. I cannot express enough how effective that has been just to remind them to come in. But I also pay for a ticketing service, right? To run all the admissions through. You got to pay for a good website. We use QuickBooks, so you've got to use some kind of accounting software. Like all of those things, I think we spend a significant amount more than the average market farmer on all of those.
Texting is an interesting one. I think a lot of people hear email marketing. That's been beaten into their head. Texting is very different because pretty much if you send a text to somebody, I think there's a pretty good chance they're going to see it and open it, and they're at least going to skim it. Not always the same with email. What software do you use for texting, and roughly what's that cost? It's probably based on per text send rate, but.
The one that I'm using now is actually tied in with the email marketing. So it's a whole CRM. It's out of the UK called Brevo. I like it a lot. I like having both of those in one place so that I'm not exporting numbers and importing numbers and having to do all of that. The only time I will do that is if I need to cancel a pick for rain, then I've got to export from the ticketing app and import it into Brevo and do that. But 99% of my texts are just to those season passers. So that's built in. I can click on somebody's name and I can see every conversation we've ever had, which is used to underestimate the importance of the personal relationship of it all, but it's incredibly important. It's what these are our most important, very important characters are looking for is a personal relationship with me and dad. So texting is you text your friends, right? So it's it takes us to that level in a way that email doesn't. But price-wise, man, I learned very quickly not to text pictures unless it's very important, and that's an upcharge. Keep it short. There's tiers of numbers of characters. And to send a text to 750 people, I want to say it's $10 or $15, which just adds up if you're going to do it twice a week, right?
Is a lot of the communication you're doing through that, would you say it's blanket, meaning they're your most important people, everybody's getting hit up? Or are you also then singling out people that are, I'll say even the more of the cream of the crop and really trying to hit them up? Thanks for coming out this weekend, that type of thing. Because I forget who it was. Maybe it was Uber back in the day, or it was Airbnb that talks about this idea of 6-star service. Everybody's 5-star. What do we do to get to 6-star, which is the next level? So is it, you can say, hey, we have a pick this weekend. We really would love to have you out. Thanks for being a member. Then it's, okay, people came out and it's, thanks for coming out this weekend. We really appreciate it. And you can just follow up. Where have you found the balance?
I love that. I don't do that, and I should. Especially dialing in on those 250 people who come 3 times plus, right? So I think that's a great idea. Mostly what I do is I can monitor the number of season passes that are swiped every day. right? Because they have to hold a QR code up to my greeter who scans it. And when either production increases or season pass attendance dips, I send a text. Hey, bell peppers are here. Don't forget us. And really, it's just a matter of the reminder. Like every time that I do that, and I'll tend to do that I'll send one kind of every Monday just to remind the weekday folks that like, hey, it's your turn. Here's what's going on. This is what the winter looks like. Here's what we're picking. And then I will send one just kind of as needed during the rest of the week, just to touch base.
This is maybe a bit of nerdery, but is it more focused on here's what we have, or I don't want to say a salesy message, but something like, hey, we're here. Weather's great. Come on out. Or like you said, hey, bell peppers are in, tomatoes are in. Come get them.
They want to know what's in.
Yeah.
They want to know what's abundant because I can get replies, and they want to know. Often I have to remind them of the hours, right? So I have such boilerplate now with, if you have questions, go to the FAQ. We're open these days, blah, 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 blah. So I try to keep that from getting onerous, repeating it. But yeah, it is mostly like, this is what's in, this is what there's lots of, this is what there's none of. And I just want to make sure that their expectations are clear.
Do you keep any sort of scoreboard, if you will, on your website, post on Instagram? Here's what we have a lot. Here's what was in now. Here's what's picking. Here's what we don't have. Is there one source, or is it updated weekly somewhere where people can find that?
Several places. So on the homepage of the website just becomes Pick Central for the open season. So the like front and center on the homepage. On one side, it's a little calendar that I made that has approximate dates of when stuff comes in. It's got an asterisk with like dates or approximate at the bottom. And next to that, it will have the next pick date, the pick times, and a list of what we're picking on each day. And then I will call out, like when blackberry season ends, I will call out there are no blackberries for the rest of the season and leave it there so that hopefully people see it. Not everybody does. But yeah, I like to call out those. If there are these, and it's tough because you can put a lot of attention to it, but the fact is that people are skimming and they're just going to buy, right? So you could give it a lot of attention and say, okay, there's not going to be cherry tomatoes tomorrow, so I'll delete that. But most people just aren't going to notice.
Hey there. Tired of spending forever seeding nursery trays by hand? Meet the Quick Click Drop Seeder. It makes seeding trays super fast. Just a click and you're done. You can seed multiple trays in no time, making your nursery work way easier. Plus, it works with paper pot trays, microgreens, and any other tray that you have. Say goodbye to tedious seeding and hello to more time on the farm. Join hundreds of other farmers and try the Quick Click Seeder today. Available at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.